Well, hey, what's up, parents? Thanks for joining us for another Woods Youth update, and thank you for doing the hardest job on the planet, raising your teenager. We're in the middle of winter, towards the end. You've almost made it all the way through, so just hang in there. Spring is coming. It's on its way. I hope you've got great spring break plans coming up. If you don't, we've got plenty of things to do here at the Woods Church. So let's take a look back a little bit about what's happened. We got done at the beginning of the month with our wild game dinner, and it was an absolutely phenomenal event. Our guest speaker travels all over the world. He's got a show on History Channel. He goes to dozens of these every year. So he's gone to hundreds of wild game dinners, and he said this was by far one of the three best he's ever been to. And so it's just awesome to be a part of something so great. And we made a record number of profit, which was amazing. However, we made a record number of profit, but we made a record low in profit per student. Now, that may be disheartening, but I want to let you know that. So normally, a point might be worth $140, $130. It was between $105 and $110. We don't have the exact numbers yet. And I know some of you may be disappointed, but the reason that is we made the most ever, but we had also the most amount of students participate ever by a lot. And so we tried real hard to make sure everybody got a piece of the pie this year. And the more that participate, the more that gets spread out. And so I don't ever want us to be upset about making a lot of money, because we should have made a lot of money per student. And so we did our best to make sure you guys are going to be able to afford our summer trip coming up. And we're excited about that. So you can expect totals next week. We're going to try to get those to you so you know for sure. And you need that because we've got one final week to sign up for our summer trip. Summer trip signups and registrations end March, I believe it's 6th, and we do have a few student spots left. We have no more adult spots for guys. There is a spot or two for a female. If you would like to come, reach out to us, and we can have that conversation to see if you'd be a good fit for us. But don't delay. It is going to be one of the most incredible experiences of your student's entire life, and we are going to spend time pursuing the Lord together, discipling your student, and what it means to have a relationship with the Lord. Not just go to church, not just have participate in religion, but to know Jesus and build that relationship. So we don't want you to miss out on that opportunity. Just 1 week left to register. Well, for midweek, we have been in a series that we like to call Purple. Relationships, dating, sex, and stuff like that. And so we wrap that up, but I just want to encourage you. These conversations are so important. I know, there's the typical the birds and the bees conversation. And I just want to encourage you, if you do one thing in this area, it's to make sure that it's regular. This is not a one-time thing. I know for me and my son, who's 11 in 6th grade, Jax, we go out to eat every single week, every single Friday morning. I take him out and we have conversations about life. And I have started to introduce these topics, ask questions, because I want it to be normal. I want it to be regular. If that's not a regular conversation in your home, when they do approach these subjects, they're going to hide it from you, and they're going to get advice from all the wrong sources. And so we want to make sure that relationship is strong. We know that 75% of teenagers hide their internet and phone usage from their parents, which isn't good. We don't want them hiding from us. We want to be there for them so that we can guide and direct them through some of these tough and challenging conversations. We ended Purple with a gender wars, our annual gender wars, and the guys won in a dramatic overtime finish. Don't worry, I'm not biased. I was team girl all the way, but the guys, kudos to them. They did win that event. Okay. And so we got a couple more things that we want to make you guys aware of right now. We have if you're watching right away, Wednesday, the last Wednesday in February, we have our quarterly worship night. And so the entire night is devoted to being in God's presence. We know that kids aren't changed by fancy messages or encouraging words or TED Talks. We want them to know Jesus and be passionate about Jesus. That's what we are about. And so tonight is an awesome opportunity for them to worship the Lord with us. And then we'll get back in joining the church with our Sacred Rhythm series in March. I want to let you know, as you're looking ahead, that our spring break week that we are off is the last week in March. So that is March 27th, I want to say. I can't find it in my notes, but the last weekend in Wednesday in March, we are off for spring break, and then we will be on the first week in April. So I want to make you guys aware of that as well. Also happening right now is the kickoff or the relaunch of our youth section. We used to run 70 to 80 students every single Sunday morning sitting in our youth section, and through COVID and some other things that died, and we wanted to relaunch it. And so the last 2 weeks, we've had 50 teenagers in our youth section, which is amazing. We know that if a student's faith is going to last beyond high school, if it's going to be established forever, they need to be part of the local church, not just a youth group. And so it's so imperative that we are getting teenagers there. I'm not saying, oh, their church is on Wednesday night. No. That's extra. We want them to gather with us Sunday morning to be a part of the larger church. Now, I know some students say, well, I don't like to sit in the youth section. It's distraction. I like to be by myself. I like to do my own thing. And this is actually a theology I want to correct because I hear this often. We actually, at the beginning of the year, we would have multiple students leave their chairs, go to the back, and seem as if they're very spiritual. And I would say, well, you're distracting others and you're being a part, you're distancing yourself from the group. And they say, well, this is my time to be with the Lord. And I would say, no, it is not your time to be with the Lord. It's our time to be with the Lord. Church is a corporate setting where we worship the Lord together. An individual time or your time is your time alone during the week. And so many have mistaken, they don't have an alone time throughout the week, and they make church their alone time. This is not so. We should be gathering together, and this is a false theology when we say, hey, when we come together, I need my time with the Lord. Nope. We want to come together. So I just want to encourage your students to gather with us. There's so many reasons for that. One, we want to be noticed. We had a mom call me 2 weeks ago. She said, hey, we came to Sunday. I didn't see any teenagers. I don't even know if you have a youth group. And that broke my heart. So we want to be visible to guests and to people. Secondly, we want to be able to pray for your student and check in on them. We want to care for them. And if we're not together, it's harder for us to do that. We had an altar call 2 weeks ago, and all of our students were right there, and we were able to lay hands on them and pray with them because they were with us. And so there's so many reasons for that, but we would encourage you, if you have a teenager, we would love it if you had them sit with us for Sunday morning service. All right. So another thing coming up this Sunday is our our quarterly family meeting. A family meeting is when we come together and we help pour into you guys as parents. Watching this video, you're not going to be a better parent. You're going to be informed. You're going to know what's going on and have a couple announcements. But to grow in your ability to parent well, we have established these family meetings. They are going to be this Sunday, after the 9 o'clock and after the 11 o'clock service, and they're going to be led by some of our staff, and we've got guests coming in. We've tackled topics like scripture in the home. How do you read scripture? How do you make that regular? Social media usage and what boundaries should you have? We have talked about creating family values, and these things have been just a huge blessing to me because we don't work on our families often. We work in them. We make sure everyone's where they're supposed to be and homework's done and they're signed up. But to work on your family, how are we becoming the family that we envision? These family meetings are space and time to do that. So we're going to be tackling prayer, and it is so essential. We've got some guests coming in, some families, moms and dads that we trust that do an excellent job at this. They're going to be giving you some help in what this looks like. And I'll just be honest with you. As a youth pastor, I've been doing this for 20 years. And I have watched parents have a desire to spiritually lead their homes, but they just haven't in the place of prayer. It was a sobering moment. I was talking to a former student in his mid-20s, had kind of gone through a crisis moment, and he said it was the first time his parents had ever prayed with him. Not like saying grace, but had ever prayed with him. And this is a church family that has been in the church as long as the student's been alive. And I don't say that to shame them. The reality is many of us struggle in, I don't understand, how do I pray? What should I do? What's that look like? What's a rhythm? And so we want to encourage you. We want to strengthen you. We want to make sure that there's a regular rhythm of prayer in your home. And so don't miss out on that as well. It's going to be a busy Sunday. We also have all church prayer. It's the first Sunday of the month, so please join us. That is where the action is. We're going to be praying for this church, for our community, what God is doing right now. And then as always, we have our Afterglow. And I'll be the first to admit, if you are paying attention to our events. We've changed this one up a little bit, and for that, I do apologize. We had some plans, and they didn't work out, so we changed it, and then we had to change it again. So we are going to be going to Leeson's for opening ice cream weekend. That's right. They're open this weekend, and so it is opening weekend for ice cream. We had some 74-degree weather. I'm in the mood for some ice cream. We're going to have some games and things at the restaurant, and then our hope is we'd be able to pray for the staff, a blessing over them as they start their year. And so we're really excited about that opportunity, and if you want have any questions about that, please reach out to us. But we're going to head to church. It's our desire that we would come together and pray, and then we meet together afterwards to hang out together. Well, that's all I've got for this week. Again, thanks so much for joining us, investing in your student, investing in this ministry. We appreciate all of you so much. As you log off, may you passionately pursue God and relentlessly reveal Jesus to your teenager.